Hello, Inhumanoids.
Hello,
Nice
hello.
to see you all. Thank you for being here. Welcome to another Inhumanoids Live. I'm your host, Bart Nunley. As always, your co-host, my beautiful wife, Letitia. Say hi, baby.
Hi, everybody.
Also with us again tonight, the lovely Miss Krista, Michael Tweedy from Blondes and Booze. Hi, Krista. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Hanging in there.
Just hanging in there.
I hear you. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to everyone. Which hopefully we're making the Wednesdays a little bit more exciting than they usually are. But we got a good show lined up tonight. We got a really interesting guest, fellow Kentuckian. But before we get to listen to his experiences, we're going to give you a little preview. Last weekend was the weekend that we gave out the prize for the Barton Spartan membership tier, and that was a one-of-a-kind, once-in-a-lifetime live investigation with Letitia and I at the LBL. And Truthwalker won that. So congratulations to Truthwalker. We had a great time. Hopefully she had the time of her life. I think she did. And we got some really good footage. We didn't have any creature sightings, but we had some really interesting things happen to us. So before we get to all that, Debbie, would you like to go and do your...
Yes, first I
do your
want to
prayer
say,
list,
if you
please?
hear or see anything crazy behind us tonight, my son is actually out putting new brakes and rotors on my cars for the trip this weekend to Ashmore. So I would like for Krista to go ahead and do those two things, and then I'll do the prayer list, if you want to talk about that. Or I can do the prayer list, and then you can put them up.
No matter. I was just saying hi to people. So
Okay, say hi to people. I'll do the prayer list, and then we'll go through Ashmore and stuff.
sounds good.
Okay. So tonight, guys, we have a long list again. But got to say them. I want to say them, and everybody pray for these people. Lisa Johnson's sister, Patricia Garrison, Karen Polk, Sharon Buck, Pam Willard Willis's fiance, Jason Moore's stepdad, John Richards, Ona Johnson's husband and family, Mickey G, Elijah Henderson, Bennett, who is Krista Tweedy's grandson. Krista, do you want to tell what's going on? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. He went to the doctor today, and he's going in for some kind of weird ultrasound now in 2 weeks, and they're checking his kidney. He's got one of the things going to his kidney is inflamed.
Okay. Well, definitely going to say a prayer for that baby.
Yep.
While we're at it, we need prayers for our grandsons. Our oldest grandson, Paul Jr., a.k.a. Spanky. He's, I want to say 20. They're getting away from me on their ages, but
20 years old.
He's been losing a lot of weight lately, and we couldn't really figure out what was going on. And they said that they were doing a biopsy of his throat, so they're looking for some type of cancer on him. So we really need prayers for him.
For sure. So young.
Yep, they're doing a
Biopsy
on his throat. So, and then also his youngest brother, Parker, aka Chip. They're doing some tests on his stomach. He's got something going on with his gastrointestinal issues. So they're doing some kind of, I think, here she goes again. Some type of testing on his stomach. I'm not sure if it's a biopsy or something. So we need a lot of prayers for our grandsons too, please. Now, Kevin and Dee Murphy, Sue G's brother, still not sure how he's doing, but we're going to still keep him on the prayer list. Rhonda Howard's husband, Rusty, her daughter, Jessica, her nephew, Matt, his family, her sister, Sherry, Scott's Life's daughter, Megan, Vic and Vera Gulati, Henry White Jr. and his son, Sherry Griffey and family, and her godson, Joe, nephew, Mike, and Mindy Masters' friend, Eddie, Krista Tweedy and her family, Cowboy 4572's wife, Cindy, Sam Burton. Hey, sweet Sam, I see you in the chat.
Hello there, Sam.
Mark Staten, Spilling Tea with Spunky Sparky. I talked to her today. They've got a little bit of stomach flu. She said, send some prayers for them, Chloe and Nova, the cats, and also Duncan and Ryan, which are her two sons. One's just having a little bit of trouble with his job, dealing with, I don't want to say what he's dealing with, but the higher uppers. And then Ryan is looking. He went for a job today. I'm hoping to get them backwards, but went to a job interview today. So prayers that he gets a job. Brother Heck, Martin Groves, Randy Hutchings, Angie Napier and family, Trey Hood, Christy and her husband, Lisa McKenna, the family of Elaine Lewis, Chuck Lindsay and his family, and Melanie, Zachary Sam, Rich Olson, Donnie Guzzler, Greg House, Donnie Porter, Mark D, Pamela Stanovich, her daughter Miranda, Aaron Smith. How is the Riley? How is she doing, Krista?
Doing good. She's doing good.
Okay. We're going to keep her on the prayer list anyway. Hawk, he hasn't been feeling real well, but getting better. Daryl Denton still has some pain from his shoulder surgery, but he's getting there. Barry Robinson and family. I'm getting there, y'all. Josh and Ellie Turner for prayers for peace for their household still. Deborah Carrier Crawford's husband, Stephen. Donna Villa's friend, who's homeless. Roger Gay's mom, Ann. Brandy and her mom, Sharon. I don't know if y'all talked about that or not, but I don't know what I'm allowed to say about that, Krista. I haven't really talked to Brandy and asked her what she
So I can fill everybody up on Brandy. So I just actually talked to her a little bit ago.
Okay.
Her mom is still in the hospital. She's doing better. She did have a stroke, and they've moved her to a different floor now for rehab, which is great. She's still having troubles, talking and walking, but and then as far as her brother is home now. So
okay,
good.
Well, so we need to really keep prayers for everybody, but people it hits you pretty hard. Yeah. Elizabeth Ann is asking for prayers for Scott. Sorry, I'm not feeling good tonight either. So Nancy Knight, mom and sister, Judy Wheeler for her daughter Caitlin, Mary Fabian for Patty and Pam, Crystal Cook for her grandpa Doug, Nadine Bush Smith, John M. Henderson, prayers for his parents for good health, David Almond, Bryce Edwards and family, Shelley Rollerson for her daughter's healing, Nita Joe Bob, Tim Menard and his sister-in-law, Shelley
William Bay's nephew has brain cancer. Please remember him in your prayers, guys.
Yeah, and I put that up there. There's another one I starred too. But William says, please pray for my nephew who's having brain surgery.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
And then I starred another one too when you're finished. So
okay. Leslie Mitz, Ryan no, there's that word last name again. Noah's, Brian Bowden, Joyce Lambert is asking prayers for her 16-year-old granddaughter who needs a lot of guidance. Deborah Christine Thompson's nephew, Amy Crewell's daughter, Karen Cartwright's Hayes' friend Deb Walker, Tristan Meyer's stepdad, Heather Ann's mother for peace, Kathy Gosh, her cousin is in ICU, Lloyd Davis' sisters Jerry and Louise, Curtis Turner's mom, Christy Hilton and family, they have COVID. And Charlie and Betty, her in-laws. Sunshine Moreland is asking for prayers for her friend Sherry. I think I've already done Elizabeth Ann Scott's family. Gabby Henderson had a friend die this past week, so she's asking for prayers for herself and her friend's family.
Jasmine.
But also, her name was Jasmine, but Jasmine left some children behind, so really need to pray for those babies and her family. And Crystal Cook. And that is the prayer request, except for the one that you starred.
And it is Audacious Amber. She says, could I please get added to your prayer list? Amber Harris. I'd be much
absolutely. Prayers for Audacious Amber.
I had William also, where he said that his nephew has brain cancer. Wow.
William Bays' nephew who has brain cancer. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I had to star this because Paranormal Paul says, nice shirt you have on tonight, Letitia.
Yeah, isn't it?
Well, I used to have one, and then someone kind of took it away from me.
Took it right off his back.
You did have one at the Dogman conference. You wore it too.
Anything like it.
He wore it, and they was like, they really wanted that shirt.
I
He goes,
remember.
"Okay, here you go." Just stripped.
Well, anything for the people.
Happy birthday to Lyrical Jazzy Gina Cook. We celebrated her birthday this past weekend with a surprise birthday party for her at the LBL. I think she had a really good birthday. Stephen Hall, Matt Imps, Sherry Griffey, and Kevin Jones. If you have any birthdays for this month, please just send them to me, and we'll make sure we shout you out. Now, this is going to take just a minute, but just bear with me, guys. I went to the post office today, and wow. Okay. So, Truthy Ruthie sent Bart. She wanted to pass down a box of antique knives that she had.
Right.
So, we can't show them all. It would take a while.
That's a 1902 Indian head Buck Creek knife.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a couple examples. These are really old knives. I don't know if you can see that, how old that dagger there is, but thank you so much, Truthy Ruthie. I'm really honored and humbled that you've taken up for me to
Go right down, baby.
pass these down to me. I have several good friends, Joe, Doyle, and Martin. They'll be interested in seeing some of these knives too.
So, war criminal.
And war criminal, yes. Yeah, the outpouring support has been amazing.
Yes, it has.
Each and every one of you guys, you're a blessing to us. So thank you for everything that you've sent us and the gifts and everything. It's just
We
wow.
appreciate it a lot, Truthy.
Real quick, can you answer a question before you get rolling on the actual show?
Yes.
Susie asked, when will Inhumanoids get t-shirts? You want to answer that?
We already have t-shirts. You can go through. We have a link on our.
I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link for
Drop the link, and you can make your own t-shirt. Or we have a couple of t-shirts left here. We usually use them for like giveaways, special.
I'll drop the link where they can go on and they can purchase one. They're very reasonably priced. You get to pick your own colors, design,
Yes.
cards. It's
artwork.
Choose from whichever artwork that you like of mine.
Yeah, I put like 5 different artworks of his on there, so you can pick if you want the soft tee, if you want it in black, gray, red, pink. It don't matter. Whatever shirt you want, you can get it. And she's going to drop the link for that.
Yep.
So
you guys check that out. We also got some more gifts here really quickly.
Hold on. So Jeff Pagtalunan, I'm sorry if I slaughtered your name, but he sent me some ointment for my poor ankle. So I had been using this. It's a tincture and an ointment actually. So the ointment is here. You just put a couple of drops on, and then this you put in an ace bandage and you wrap it up around your ankle. That's really been helping. And this is the original that he makes his from. This is what it's called. I don't know if you can see that. So, but he makes his own, and he sent me all 3. One of them translated into something wine, and he said, "Don't drink it though." So, need to thank him for all the ointments. And then Larry Fisher sent me an ointment. I've got it in the bathroom where I use it on my ankle all the time. It's been helping tremendously too.
It's like a miracle.
Miracle. It really is.
Yeah.
We need to say thank you to Mr. Phelps. You know the reason we're thanking you. You asked us not to say anything, but thank you so much, Mr. Phelps. You know who you are, and you know why we're thanking you. Now, Chuck and Melanie Lindsay, we need to thank you guys. Miss Melanie sent me, which I can't wait to open, some Hawaiian coffee, dark roast Hawaiian coffee. And I am ready to dig into that.
Tastes like paradise, it says.
It says, and I bet it does too. That was in the mail. They also bought us some snake gaiters for creek walking. These are just you wrap them around your leg and hook them on. You don't have to put them over your shoes, or you just hook them around your legs, and you're protected from snakes in the creek. These will be used often.
Very cool.
Very, very cool.
And Joe Barter, send me this. Thank you, brother.
Send us some real copper bullets for
those copper jackets. Yes. So hopefully I'll never need to use those, but if I do, I've got them.
And Chuck and Melanie also sent us some flashlights. They're super high-powered little flashlights, but they are bright. So
Awesome.
Anyway, I had a big surprise when I went to the post office today. So thank you guys so very much. We appreciate everything everybody does for us. We really do.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's
done,
it
honey?
for me. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to talk just a minute about the LBL trip with Truth Walker before we get the guest on. We had a great time. I believe it was Saturday night that we got this footage, right? So we went Friday. We went back to that bridge where the viewer sent in the screenshot of the video that I took at the old Iron Bridge. And do you have that picture, hon? You want to put it up there?
Yep.
Thank you so much, Liberty. We appreciate you, brother.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
Now, that one right there. Now that is the screenshot that the viewer sent in. Now go ahead and put up the picture of War Criminal took of me in the same place.
Okay, yeah, make sure you explain that. So
Right,
we're in the exact same spot.
We're in the same spot. Now you can see, you can't hardly see anything, right? It's 2 weeks more foliage, but right there in the center of that picture is my black hat.
Crystal, can you come in on that like you did the last time?
No, because that was shared screen.
Okay. All right, don't worry about it.
That's okay.
It's hard to even see Bart in there, so you can only imagine how big this creature or whatever it was is that we captured in that video. We are standing in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Right. So
I still can't find you.
Right. I'm right there. There's my hat. So that means this thing was absolutely huge, even bigger than War Criminal. The War Criminal is like a giant.
He's tall. War Criminal is really,
whatever that thing was, still don't know what it was, but it was huge. And thank you to everybody that's tuning in from all over the world, Netherlands and Ireland.
I saw that.
Kentucky, you guys. Welcome to the river bottoms of Kentucky. So the very next night, we had big plans to go investigate this old church, and we were in an area that had been tornado damaged a couple years before. Baby, you're gonna have to let her out, please.
I know.
Sparky, you need to come watch Rosie for us while I do these live streams, son. You just said you would, so we might have to hold you to that.
Oh, baby.
Okay, you can take that picture down now.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah, so we're in the tornado damaged areas, which is, just miles and miles of downed trees, right? With just a few trees standing in between. And War Criminal was in the vehicle in front of us with the girls, and Martin Groves and I were in the vehicle behind him, and he started brake checking us and pointing out the window to his left. And we looked over there, and I saw what I thought was a campfire. Well, the more I looked at it, the more I looked at it, the more I realized it was more like a bonfire. It was like a really big, a big orange light. It was half a mile away, but we could see it really good over those down trees. And so we ended up pulling over and looking at it. And Letitia looked at it through the psionics, the night vision, and it was not a fire at all. It was a big round ball, a pulsing ball of light. It had this kind of like force field around it. I don't know. I really don't know what. I think it's a portal, because Truthwalker had a thermal camera, and it showed up no heat signature whatsoever in her thermal. So I think it was a portal, and I don't know what it is. You guys, I've never seen anything like it. We're going to show you just a little bit of the video we have right now, and you guys give us your opinion on this.
Do you want me to go to it? Do you want me to?
Yes, please do. Yes, please do, Krista.
All right. Okay, gotcha.
You guys tell us what you think.
It's not showing up red as in hot. That's weird. When I put it on red hot,
yeah,
it doesn't show up as red.
What? In the hell, it's white as can be. And it looks like there might be some other lights around it too.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. It can be through the psionics.
And then it looks like two lights.
Come here, look.
Wow.
It is not showing up as red on my red hot. It is not showing up as red.
It's showing up white.
It's showing up white.
See, that should not be doing that.
No, it should be a red spot. Man, they're just going to town.
Like I said, I'm going to see what it
Okay, hold on a minute. Just let me film this real quick.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I don't know how to really process that. I'm working on the video. I'll have the video done tomorrow or the next day, and you guys can check out the full video. I'm also doing a video reading emails and one of finishing up Mysterious Kentucky. I think it was the Kentucky's Unfriendly Skies section. So got a few videos going to be dropped in the next few days if I can get the time to actually sit down and do that. And it seems like everything's happening all at once here. We're batting 1,000 down in the land between the lakes. We've got more substantive evidence than I think anyone's ever gotten. And we've gotten it in the last 6 weeks or so. It's crazy. That was.
Let me ask you a question. 2 questions. What area of the LBL was that taken in?
I'm not going to say right now, Christopher. I'll say it's the tornado damaged area, and that's all I'm going to say.
I know where it is then.
You know where it's at.
Yes. And
Yep.
I showed this to a couple of my friends.
How far away was that from you?
I estimate that was about a half a mile away from us across.
So which I find interesting, only because I kind of looked like it was a little bit away. That to me looks more like a bonfire, not a little campfire.
Yeah, that's what
I thought. Yeah. To
Like,
the naked eye, it was orange.
Yeah, to the naked eye, it looked just like a big giant bonfire stacked up like a teepee would. Like, you know, the Boy Scouts would make a real bonfire. But
Well, that's what I thought it was, and that's why we didn't sit there all night filming this. You know, we had a lot of plans, but it's only later that I got to think about this. That we kind of dropped the ball here because we should have stayed there and filmed that. It was still going when we left, and we came back a little bit later. It was still there. And then when Letitia and War and Truth Walker came out, it was gone. So there's no trace of that. But we're going to go back and we're going to film that area during the daytime and see what we can find out. That was.
You could see in this video where it's like it looked white to you, like you could see it illuminating off the trees. It looked like to me.
Right, it was pulsing on the trees. Yeah, you can see it pulsing on the trees. The funniest thing was that it had no heat signature whatsoever. So I know that it wasn't a campfire, and Truth Walker can attest to the truth of accuracy of that statement. So if this is a portal, it's like it's probably the first of its kind ever filmed at LBL or anywhere else I know of. So.
And that area, like seriously, to walk to it, you would have to go through, it's a tornado area. So there's trees down all over. It's not an easy get to for someone to go
everywhere.
Right.
You'd have to climb over all those down trees, half a mile of down trees. And who would do that to camp up in there? That's where all the timber rattlers are. They love the shade underneath those logs and the sun on top of them in the day. So there was probably 100 timber rattlers between us and that, whatever that thing was. But
Truth Walker said, "Yep, sorry, I didn't get a picture of it." Well, at the time, we really didn't realize what we needed to be taking pictures of. Truth. So.
That's right. Yeah, and Sister Truth. So now you realize this wasn't exactly a once in a lifetime prize. So she's part of the family now, and welcome back to the LBL with us anytime we go. But I tried to take a picture with your thermal too 3 times. I hit that button. And evidently it didn't work. And also when we was going through that church, when I got out of the car, I hit record on my phone and was recording as I walked up to the church. We walked in, and Letitia walked up to the front of the church and opened this. What was it, like a little door in the back? It was a
little door on the altar.
Yeah.
There's a little door that I opened up. And inside of it was this little basket. And I just held the basket up because I wasn't going to touch what was inside the basket. I just know better than to do that anymore, touch anything like that. But I just kind of held the basket up, and he was filming it, and you can explain what you're saying.
Right. So it was, it looked like somebody went outside and picked up 2 little tree limbs and tied them together in the shape of a cross and draped a
crucifix.
Yeah. Catholic rosary around it. Now I'm filming all this, right? But when I get home and download the video doesn't even start playing until we're walking out the door. So crazy things happening there. People showed up while we were at this old cemetery, and some young people, 2 carloads of them, they saw that we were there. They left. But after we left, y'all saw them coming back in, right? So don't know what's going on there. Something weird definitely going on there at that old church.
But the crazy part about it was we didn't just see them. It was myself. It was War Criminal and myself in the front seat of War Criminal truck, and then Gina and Truth Walker in the back. And we passed those kids coming up in the truck, and then right behind them was like I call it a Mercedes-Benz SUV with just a single, like, mid-aged man in it. And there's no reason at all. There it is in a blacked out SUV. Truth Walker just wrote it up there. For what reason? Why would they be on this road that you really need a 4-wheel drive going down? And then Jonestead Farms talking about the white van that we passed when we was at that place a couple months back. So we don't know what's going on there, but we're fixing to do a little finding out.
Right.
Yeah. Right. In the last 6 weeks, we've had more activity really than I've had in 40 years. I started this stuff in 1985 and really haven't got any substantial evidence in that whole time. But the last 6 weeks at LBL has been off the charts.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I also want to say, if you're subbed, if you're a subscriber, please make sure that you're still a subscriber. I just got another note today from someone who found that they've been unsubbed for a while now and they didn't even know it. So please check that if you don't mind. And I'm going to get a hold of our guest here.
Real quick, Letitia, I'm having issues finding your link to your store, and I've looked everywhere. And you got another place for me to look?
I don't know. I thought it was in the end of our.
Hello.
Give me just 1 second here, bro.
Hang on. Go ahead, and I'll send it to her if I find it.
So everybody, I want to introduce you to Brother Chuck Lindsay. How you doing tonight, Chuck?
Hello, brother. I'm doing very well. I hope everybody there is doing good.
We're doing good. And how's your wife doing?
She's doing better. She's doing much better. She's taking her meds and her vitamins and supplements, and thank you for the prayers.
Oh,
you're welcome. Thank you for the wonderful gifts that you guys sent. And everybody's eagerly awaiting to hear your story about this Thunderbird. So before you do that, tell us a little bit about yourself, Chuck, if you don't mind.
I got you.
You got it? Okay. Sorry, I couldn't find it either.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. Go ahead. We're sorry.
Oh, no problem. I'm originally from North Carolina. That's where I had my first encounter with Inhumanoid. I worked for the city of Charlotte. I went from the police department to the mayor's office in Charlotte, and we moved to Kentucky to the family farm up here to more or less for a retirement plan. And in doing that, my wife and I both picked up a job driving a van, taking people to their doctor visits. And I took every opportunity. I would ask people in these hollers and everything, and up on the hills, I'd ask them, because I would have a rapport with them where they didn't mind talking with me.
Sure.
And I would ask them, have you ever seen or heard anything around here that you could not explain? And I would say more had than had not. I'm glad I'm retired now, fully retired now. The company went out of business, but that's basically us in a nutshell.
Right now, one of your riders or passengers, now they've told you about something that they were seeing down in Tennessee, right?
Mostly Tennessee, but near it was also right here at the state line.
Mhm.
It's a tri-state area, and so I got to drive around several areas.
Right. What did they tell you that they were seeing down there, Chuck?
Well, now this is the strangest thing that people would tell me, and it was people that don't even know each other, and some of them are elderly, some of them middle-aged, whatever, and they weren't drug people or alcoholics or anything. They were just people that they got to go to the doctor and stay healthy.
Right.
And two of the older ladies, and this is down in a town called La Follette, down at 75, and anyway, they had gotten home from the grocery store, and their car was across from their house, and they were getting their stuff out of the trunk, and they looked over toward the woods, and a young man was standing there. They figured he must be 10, 12 years old, and he didn't have on a shirt, but from the legs down, they were covered in fur, and they were, I guess you'd say, they had hocks like a dog.
Yeah.
And they looked at him, and I asked him, I said, well, did you speak to it? No. And it finally turned and went on back in the woods. But other people, because I would ask if they seen or heard anything, couldn't explain, whatever. And they also, other people in different areas told me that they see adult versions of that. And the only thing I could, I didn't say anything about it. I just listened. And the only thing I could just call one of these things would be a fawn or a satyr or something like that.
Well, we call him Goat Man these days.
Goat Man.
Yeah.
And they're evidently they see those quite a bit down there. And another lady right up Interstate 75, she lives between Oak Ridge and a township called Chilco. And again, this is my standard operating procedure, I would ask. And she said, well, yes, I have. I said, well, I wouldn't mind listening if you want to tell me what you saw. And so she did, and she saw her sister. She and her sister was in a little red pickup truck going home from wherever, and her sister started doing her, tapping her on the arm to stop and to look, and there was a black, I guess you would call it inhumanoid, sitting up in a tree, and it was the size of a grown man, and she said that it was pure black, and that it just, she described it like when somebody's diving off of a deck or a diving board or whatever, the way they just dive off.
Yeah.
And that it flew across, it had wings, it flew across in front of the truck, banked up sideways, went between some trees, and flew off on down the valley. And I said, well, have you seen it? Do you see that a lot now? And she said, no, I saw it then, but she said there is a white one, a black one and a white one, and everybody in that area they figure that the white one may be a female, and that'd be a mate. I don't know. I couldn't elaborate on that with her, but I said, so where do you think these things stay? Where do they live? And she said that everybody thinks that they live up on top of one of those mountains over there because there's a cave there. And I said, well, I didn't know what else to say. I told them, just be careful and whatever. And I said, could you tell me? I know you said it was black, but could you tell me what it looked like? What did it have, feathers or what? It did not have feathers. She said the skin was about the color of a tire off of a car, but it looked burned. It just, the face, everything just looked burned. And that the best description she could give me was Jeepers Creepers. And I've never seen that movie all the way through. I just never have time. Even retired, I don't have time. Right. But she described it in the face like that.
It's very scary looking face. I can tell you that. I've seen that movie.
I'll be back and check on him.
So this thing had no hair or anything like that, just burnt looking skin and an evil face.
That's what she described, yes, sir. I said, did it make a sound? Did not make a sound. Did not shriek or yell at him. He just flew across in front of the truck, banked up. She said it was beautiful in flight. And the only thing I could figure is I just wondered if it could be a gargoyle. I don't know. I don't know because that's right near Oak Ridge. And
did she describe the wings? Were they bat-like or bird-like? She described them,
I guess you'd call it kind of a combination of the both. It didn't describe it having the membrane attached to like a little rib. It was almost more so, I guess you'd call it like a pterodactyl or pteranodon wing, where it was just, the big part coming out, and then the whole wing was just the skin, but it wasn't separated by a rib or anything.
Right. Now let me ask you something, Chuck. Why were you asking all these people these crazy questions?
Well, and I know they sound crazy, brother. I know it, but it started back years ago when I lived in Charlotte. And I lived near the airport, and which is the west side of Charlotte, and it wasn't developed at this time. It's not really developed that much now, from what I understand. But anyway, a fellow I knew, I don't have permission to call his name, but he wanted to come out there because it was woods, just nothing but acres and acres and acres of woods.
Yeah.
But the woods, brother, I can't explain it, but they just seemed, even at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were just an inky, dark. They were just darker than they should be, like a normal patch of woods or whatever.
Yeah.
And there were no birds in the woods, no squirrels, rabbits, nothing in there, because I would hunt, but I never saw anything. And I never saw a bird. As the Lord is my witness, and I've prayed about this, I've never seen a bird that I recall ever flying over those woods. Well, anyway.
Wow.
And we lived in one house, and my aunt lived next to us, she and my uncle. And everybody dreaded. They just had such a feeling of dread and oppression. We're all church people, but just I can't explain the dread and I don't know how better to describe it. Anyway, when
Right.
my mom or my aunt would cross going over one to visit Doug, they wouldn't even look at the woods. Well, anyway, a friend of mine said, well, can I come out there and hunt? So you can come out there. You can come out and you won't get anything, but we can shoot and whatever. He said, okay. So he came out there, and about 1:30 in the afternoon, he was kind of distressed, and I said, well, I told you, brother, there's nothing out here. And he said, well, it's got to be something. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's walk through these woods down to the power line, and we'll just, maybe something's down there eating berries or something. I don't know. And so we did, and we were walking, and I had been in the woods by myself a lot because I trust God, and so anyway, I don't mean to be so long-winded with this.
No, that's okay. You take your time, brother.
Well, thank you. So we were walking toward the power line in the woods, and I looked at him. I said, well, let's go over here this logging road and get out of these little saplings and whatever. And so that's what we did. We was walking along, and somebody come walking behind us. And he looked at me. He said, who is that? I said, I don't know. Maybe a great game warden. I don't know. So we kept walking, and they kept walking behind us, getting a little closer each time. And he asked, who is that? I said, I don't know. I said, let's just turn around and ask them who they are. And we stopped, turned around. It's the one behind us walking. They stopped, and there was no one there. Well, that didn't do him a lot of good at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, I said, well, come on, and we'll walk down here. It wasn't maybe 40, 50 more feet. We'll come out at the power line, turn to our left, and turn around and see what happens. Okay. So we did. We got down there at the power line, out of the trees, turned to our left, turned around facing. This time, whatever was walking did not stop walking. It walked straight up and walked straight across in front of both of us. And brother, if I had reached my arm out, I could have, if it was possible, I could have touched it. It was that close. Mm-hmm. And both of us, though, this is the part that makes me feel so foolish. It's almost like we were both just standing there dumbfounded. Like we had no thought to pull it, because we had guns on us. We had no thought about pulling a gun. We just stood there almost entranced, I guess. And we heard it. We listened to the footsteps going on through the woods until it got to the other field over there on the other side of the woods. And and that's what got me started in all this, because...
Now, did you ever see the creature when it was walking in front of you, Brother Chuck?
Never saw a thing. It was totally and completely invisible. Right. And it has a big area that it roams around. It roams around near the airport, all the way back over there. It's still out there, but needless to say, I don't live down there anymore.
Well, now you're in Kentucky now, right, Chuck?
I am, yes,
okay. Sir. So what you experienced was more than likely a Bigfoot in cloaking stage. And I know that to some people that sounds so crazy, but it's true. I've experienced it twice myself. So when they're in that invisible state, you cannot see anything, not even an outline. I couldn't. A lot of people say, well, I saw an outline that looked like in the Predator movie, right? But we could not see anything, no outline, nothing at all visible. So I got a feeling that's what y'all experienced too.
when I was a kid, young, 2, 3 years old. Back then, family got together and they'd eat outside in the back, and it was family time.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent my aunt in the house to get, I don't know, potato salad, coleslaw, I don't know. And she was in the kitchen, and a huge wolf come walking out of the bedroom, but it was made out. She says it looked like it was made out of smoke.
Yeah.
And it didn't look at her. It just went right by her it went out the back door. And he went to the back door and was looking and said, did y'all see that? Did you see that? Nobody saw a thing. But she also, and I think we all may put it off to her medicine, but I don't know. She would also tell us that she would see buildings up in the sky, and that, and me, I just kind of wrote that off. I don't know what she was seeing, if she saw anything, but she saw buildings up in the sky going along, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I've seen that too. It's hard to get anyone to believe that, right? But I saw a castle in the sky when I was 9 years old, so who am I to doubt anyone's story? Now, have you ever seen anything like Bigfoot other than in a invisible state, Chuck?
Brother, I don't know what exactly. I can't describe the body, but again, driving the van, I was crossing the bridge. It's maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. I mean, it was starting to get light.
Mm-hmm.
And I was headed toward Knoxville, and there's a bridge out there over a place called Norris Lake. And I looked over to my left, because it's beautiful out there, and I only saw from the neck up. Whatever it was big enough to be walking across that. I don't know how deep the lake is, but from the neck up, I saw a head. It was solid black, and the closest thing I could describe it to would be a gorilla head, but only a lot bigger. It was probably, I don't know, I bet that head was close to 40 inches or more around. It was huge. It was big.
So was it making good speed through that water, Chuck, or could you tell?
It didn't seem to be making it was just a walking speed. It wasn't like trying to hurry or anything.
Right. It's hard to walk in neck deep water with any speed. So it looked like a gorilla walking across there.
Well, the head did. That's the closest that because I was probably a good 50, 75 yards from it. I was looking off of that bridge down there, and that's as close a description as I could give, because it did not have a snout. It did not have anything coming out in the front like a deer or an elk or anything like that. It looked like a gorilla head to me. It was pure black.
Wow. So getting back to that smoke wolf, was that house haunted in any other way? Is that the only spectral vision that you saw?
I don't know. They moved from there a while after that, but like I said, I was young. I was like toddler size.
Yeah, we hardly ever get any ghost wolf sightings, so that's pretty unusual right there. Very unusual. So let's talk about this bird that you saw. Give us a little background on that. What was happening at that time?
It was down here in an area called Powell Valley.
In Kentucky.
It's Highway 63.
Mm-hmm.
And I had again driving the van for work. I had to pick up a lady that was expecting a baby, and I was taking her home, and there wasn't really much traffic out there, and very, very rural. And we were going along. I guess we was about 60 miles an hour. It's the 2 lanes, 2-lane road, but it's a highway, but it's a 2-lane,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got the lanes on each side where if you have problems, you can pull off.
Emergency lane drive.
Right, and there's some telephone poles along the side and with the wire, whatever. And we were just, I was driving and she was in the front seat. She was the only passenger I had. And I don't know what the thing is or was. It came down, and the reason I call it Powell Valley is it's a mountain on each side and then the highway through there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was came off of the mountain on our left side, and I didn't see it at the time. I didn't see that part. I wasn't, I was looking at the road.
Sure.
And it came down, it flew, it was flying. It went under the power line across the road. And I looked at her, I said, "Did you see that?" She said, "Yes." And brother, this is what it looked like. It was a creamy beige on the bottom and kind of a medium to darker medium brown on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And
a bird, right?
It was a bird. It did not look like a pterodactyl. It didn't look like a vulture or an eagle or anything like that. It looked like a falcon.
Okay.
Only this bird, when it flew across that road, from the tip of where its beak is, I guess, to the tip of its tail, covered all of the lanes going down that road. It covered the 2 and then the 2 on the outside. So I would say it was at least 40 plus feet long.
Wow.
And we got it only going 60 miles an hour. It only took us 5-6 seconds to get that down to where it crossed the road. And we stopped because there was no traffic at the time. We stopped thinking that it had landed or whatever, and it was nowhere. We looked to see if it was flying up the other side of the valley or whatever. It was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And well, like I said, she was going to have a baby, and it probably wasn't more than a week and a half, if that. Her husband drowned in 2 feet of water.
No.
And then, not maybe a week or 2 after that, I had a heart attack. So I don't know if it was an omen. I don't know what it was. But like I told Mel, something that big, people would be seeing it flying around, because this was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Broad daylight. Yeah. 40-foot long bird. So it must have had a wingspan. If it was at an angle where you could see it, it must have had a wingspan between 50 and 70 feet, would you say?
It could have. I thought it was, at first, I thought it was a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was. I only saw it from the side. She only saw it from the side. But I hope and I pray I never see it again. Because I don't want any more health trouble. I don't want any more nothing like that. We pray and it can stay wherever it came from.
Right. So you took it as a foreboding of disaster, right? And either one.
Well, at first I didn't know, but her husband died, drowned in that, and he was an outdoorsman. You know, I knew him, you know, from picking her up in 2 feet of water. And then me, right after that, having a heart attack, I at the time I didn't take it as an omen, but I kind of lean that way now.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I just
you
got
think
a-
of Mothman.
Yeah, I just got a message from our friend Merle, our brother Merle.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk, I'm sorry. Said Norris Lake is very deep at that bridge where he saw something. I have family that lives in that area. He's fished in that lake hundreds of times. So wow,
Yeah.
he knows exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you, Brother Hawk. Yeah.
Hawk, have you seen anything down there? If you have, just shoot
let
me
us
a
know.
message.
So we're glad that you're still with us, Brother Chuck, and the heart attack didn't get you. And it's tragic to hear about that baby's father.
I thank you.
Very, very tragic story there. And hope nothing. I don't think anything's going to happen to you for coming out and telling this, brother. And so we have Jesus Christ to keep us from harm, you know, and keep us from what comes along with seeing things of this nature, right? All we can do is tell people. So you're doing the right thing. We'll be sure to keep in our prayers that no ill fortune comes to you from making this incredible sighting public. Has to be the biggest Thunderbird report that I've ever heard.
I guess people see them bigger. I don't know, but it didn't look like an eagle or a vulture. It looked almost exactly like a falcon, round and the only other encounter I've had was up on the mountain parallel that highway. There's a little town called Duff, Duff. Well, anyway, I wrote the dates down, but it was around 5:30, going on 6 o'clock. Light thunderstorm. It wasn't even a storm, just a thunder shower, and real light, just a heavy mist. And I had let my last passenger off, and I was coming over the mountain to where I live, and live in a crater. So,
right. You live in the city that is built in the impact crater.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, tell everybody what the name of that city is, brother. I wrote about it in my second book. Rosie, go lay down, girl. Go.
She's not going to, baby.
It's called Middlesboro.
Middlesboro.
Yeah. And a stranger place you could never find. But you know, it's beautiful. It's nice right here. But anyway, I was coming home. And I was going around a curve to the right, and it's woods on each side. And I smelled the most awful, horrible odor because I had my window that cracked, you know, and I was headed home to Middlesboro. Well, anyway, I thought, what in the world? Because it smelled, I can only describe rotten chicken with garbage on it. That's the best way I can describe it. It was horrible. Anyway, I went on around the curve to the right, and it curved back to the left. The road did, and I thought, I didn't know what it was, so I was going on, and I saw down there on the left side of the road, not in the road, but on the side of the road in the grass, coming toward me, I saw what I thought was a cow. But as I got closer, I realized that it wasn't a cow. It was light gray, and I realized it was a dogman or a wolf or whatever term you want to call it. It was pointed toward where I had just come from. So I saw it was not a big muscle-bound, muscular-looking thing. It was almost built more just toned up like a basketball player or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Sort of slender and
Sir?
sort of slender,
Well,
not muscle bound.
sort of, yes, sir. And it was on all fours, and it looked very, very particular about where it was wanting to put a foot down as it was going.
Yeah.
And I never saw its eyes because its head was pointed down, almost like it was a dog sniffing, trailing something.
Right.
And I thought, the only thing I told my wife when I got home, I called her and I told her, I said, I saw it. And she made me write down and draw a thing and all this, but I couldn't draw it good. But I told her, I said, the only thing I could figure is I must have smelled a juvenile Bigfoot or something, and that thing was tracking it for food. I didn't know at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't see its eyes. It was looking down all the time. It never stood up on 2 feet. Didn't see a tail because of the angle that I was looking at it. But, brother, I can tell you that was the most graceful, amazingly graceful thing I have ever seen. I've seen cats and all this stuff, but nothing compares to how graceful the movements were on that animal. And
were you frightened when you saw it?
sir,
Were you frightened when you saw the thing?
I wasn't frightened. I was in my van, but I was just so overcome with, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And it never looked up. It's like it didn't even matter that I was there. But and this will be, and I don't know how to describe it other than what I'm going to describe. Brother, if you had a bag full of gold and was wanting me to take you to show you where it was, you'd have to keep it, because I don't know what happened, but I cannot sit here and say that I remember anything about it walking into the woods. I have tried to find that location a number of times, and I don't know. I realized one minute it was there and I was looking at it, and the next minute I was looking down the road and there was nothing there. I wish to the good Lord I could say how it got in the woods. If it got in the woods, I don't know.
Right. So what you're saying is, Brother Chuck, is you watch this dogman approach you, but you have no memories of it walking past you. The next thing you know, you're driving down the road.
Well, next thing, the van is moving. I'm not giving it any gas, but it's rolling. Mm-hmm. And then I just push the gas pedal and go on, because there's nothing else. There's nothing out there anymore. You know, I was seeing it. It was walking up the side of the road, one lane away from me, going in the opposite direction. But it's I don't know where it went.
Right. Hello there, Mel. We hear you back there, hon. Hope you're doing well.
anything.
Melanie. Thank you for my coffee.
You are so welcome.
I can't wait to get into it.
I know you can enjoy it.
I bet I am.
We'll make it a habit.
Right.
Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
thanks so much. So that is really weird that you have missing memory there, brother.
Is it memory or time or both? Are you missing like time too, or is it just memories?
I don't think it's time, because the whole episode, I don't think it lasted any time much, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, if that, because I was still, the van seemed to be right in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
Only the creature or whatever, it was gone. And I talked to Mel about this. Yeah, Mel had me draw it when I got home and write the date and document everything. But, you know, there's houses out there. I mean, it's not just total, you know, nothing. But they're very sparse. You know, you might go a half a mile before you see another house. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I asked Mel, how could these people live out there and not see something that big roaming around? You know, because that area, they got chickens and animals and stuff. But I can tell you, it's out there. It's up on those hills. Right. Still out there to this day. What color did you say it was again, brother? It was a light gray, and there was no variation. There was no variation. It was, the whole body was light gray. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That is weird. If anybody has any questions for Brother Chuck, just please put them in all capital letters so we can ask him.
We can already start.
There's several questions already.
Do you care to answer some questions?
Yes, ma'am, if I can.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Gentlemen, please.
Southwest 10 asks, could you hear anything? This was in the beginning when you were talking.
I did not hear anything, but I can say that wolf-looking thing, whatever it was the most graceful, moving thing I have ever seen. But it didn't make a sound.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have your windows up or down, Chuck?
Well, it was kind of a heavy mist, and the window was down maybe 2 inches, 2 inches, because I had those plastic vent shade things at the top of the window, and, you know, right, help with defrost. Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's very, very bizarre. So having no memory of it passing you is, I think that's the first time anyone's ever reported that to me. Seeing it come towards you and not being able to remember it passing.
Right.
There's another question that 2 people asked kind of the same question. Pamela asked, did you feel lost time? And then Amy Creel also said, did the guest also have missing memory time with the Thunderbird sighting?
Did not have any missing time or anything as far as the bird. It flew across. It flew under the power line across the road, and we were. It took us maybe 5-6 seconds, not long at all, to get to that spot, and we stopped. And we were looking, because we expected it to be walking around out in that field, but there was nothing there, nothing around, flying around or anything. So we didn't know what we saw, but I went ahead and we just got back in the van and left, and I took her home.
Wow.
Shade Viking says this is, it's ironic, Shade, that you have to come to YouTube to see reality TV because this is real and you can't get this on TV. trust me, I know. I've been on it several times. And Brother Chuck here is a God-fearing, good Christian man, and he knows there's consequences in the next life. Punishments for those who run around telling lies in this one. So you can believe every word he says is true. Isn't that right, Chuck?
Amen, brother. And I would be willing to stand on a stack of Bibles and repeat everything I said, because, and I reached out to you, brother, because that I was asking you about that cloaked Bigfoot thing, because I didn't know what it was. I had even went to my preacher's son and different people asking about it. And God rest her soul, I even talked to Linda Godfrey about it one time, and nobody could really, nobody ever mentioned a cloaked Bigfoot to me. But now I know that's what it was, because you helped me understand. And
that's what I'm here for, brother. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
My wife was, it kind of, we believe the blood of Jesus, the name of Jesus. We keep our home and us covered in God and prayer, and along with all y'all. But we hear things out here at night. We hear whoops. We hear growls. The curtains were closed here in the living room. I was already in bed, and something was standing outside the window here in the living room. Curtains were closed, but something growled at her standing outside that window.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an odd area.
Right. So no poltergeist activity in your home.
No.
Anything like that.
No, sir. We keep the blood of Jesus all over this place.
And that'll do it. That's how you do it right there.
Let's see if we have any more questions for you.
Now, have any of these encounters ever scared you?
Go ahead.
Brother Chuck? Give you just a feeling of utter dread? And
the Bigfoot one did, because I couldn't see it. That bothered me a great deal. That bothered me a long time.
Right. It's the things that you can't see that are most scary to me. That's why I don't mess with the ghosts. That's why I let Krista and Brandy do all the ghost hunting. In.
They're braver than me.
Right.
Braver than me too.
Braver than me too.
That's why we're going to be sitting around the campfire Saturday.
Yeah. I live in a couple haunted houses, and I don't want anything else to do with ghosts and spirits and all that. Too stressful.
Melanie was afraid maybe that Dogman may have followed me home.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know a whole lot about a whole lot, but we know to curse and rebuke things in the name of the Lord.
Right.
And if it comes around here, the Lord will answer the door.
There you go. That's the way I look at it too, and that's why we can go out in these woods.
I hear Melanie's trying to say something
at
in the
night.
background.
Melanie, are you trying to say something, hon?
Yes, I said it was Chuck that was the braid. No.
No.
There you go.
She wasn't supposed to say that.
Well, we have another question. Christy, if you want to read the question from Hawk.
Says, when the witness was going across the bridge, was it the old bridge or the new bridge across Norris?
It was the new one. It had the old. They had taken the old one down and put up another one, and I was headed from. I had left going towards Knoxville from Tazewell, and I was going there, and the water. I won't say the water was low, but I don't know. But it was. I don't know how deep it is, but it was that new bridge, and I was looking to the left off of that bridge. I was looking to the left, and there's a marina over on the right. But this was on the left, and there was nothing out there, but that head was going across there.
Wow. I think he's already asked the other two starred questions.
Mhm.
Yep, he's already asked. Did you get the feeling of dread? That he answered that question.
Yeah, right.
correct?
Yeah.
And then about the bridge again.
So
That's
I
all.
think
The
that's the questions.
Yep.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, Brother Chuck, we sure appreciate you coming on and sharing your stories with us. Very, very unusual stories. And that's the largest Thunderbird account that I've ever heard myself.
Well, brother, thank you. I'm honored. And,
The honor's all mine.
well, brother, we'll all have to stay in touch.
We'll stay in touch, and might have to get down there to that cave in Tennessee. You might have to tell me where that's at. Got some exciting stuff coming up down there. Might make that part of the itinerary. If I get in there and see those things, those winged creatures, that would be pretty amazing.
That would be amazing. Amen.
So definitely stay in touch, and you and Melanie, you have a great night. God bless you both, and be safe, okay?
We appreciate all the gifts.
Yes, save my number, add me to your contact list. Anything happens, just give me a call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You too. And have a good night.
You too. Thanks again.
Later.
Yeah.
God
Bye-bye.
bless
Good
y'all.
night,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, y'all, too.
Okay, bye-bye, Chuck.
And
So there you have it. That's some pretty interesting stories there that no one's ever heard before. He's never been on any other podcast or on TV or anything like that. Do you guys have any questions for me or Letitia or Truth Walker about our LBL experience? Go ahead and ask those if you like.
I do want to read this. Hawk said that his first Bigfoot experience happened not too far away from the bridge that he was just talking about. At the North River. That's what Hawk just sent me.
Hawk's going to have to come on the show. He's got so many stories. I know we've been friends for a long, long time.
I just
Love to get him on the show and let him tell you guys some of the stuff that's happened to him.
Has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask tonight? You can just storm, or you can tell them about have you ever talked about your Thunderbird experience?
You know, I don't really talk much about me on this channel, but
Well, I would like to ask Bart if he would talk about his Thunderbird experience.
okay. Well, it was 1998, Klondike's Road, Henderson County, Kentucky, the river bottoms. I was actually, me and my ex-wife were riding down to the river bottoms, and tornado had just come through a couple of days previously, and the road was wet. The gravel road was wet and had ruts in it and tree limbs down. And I was trying to take it slow, and keep my eye on the road, trying to keep the car on the road. And my wife kept pointing out something outside her window and saying, "Who's this guy think he is? The Red Baron or something?" I'm like, "What? What is it?" She said that there's a red plane or something flying over here, real close to the trees. I'm like, "Well, I thought it was an ultralight. We have ultralights here. Just a couple of them." And then she said, "Well, I think it might be a hang glider." And I knew we didn't have hang gliders here because there's nowhere to take off from. We don't have any places that's high enough to take off from one of those. And I was trying to ignore her really and pay more attention to the road than to her. But after 4 or 5 prompts, I finally looked over and out of her window to see what it was that she was seeing. And what I saw really surprised me. It was a bird. It had no feathers, solid red, had skin like an elephant, and real long, skinny wings. Had a hair around each ankle, a brownish red hair, and it looked just like a pteranodon, or some people call them pterodactyls. But the skin, the thing about what struck me as being the most peculiar, other than seeing this ancient creature flying through the skies of Henderson, Kentucky, was the wings. They were so long and skinny. I was thinking, how in the world does this thing even achieve flight? But anyway, I only got a couple of quick glances, 2 or 3 quick glances. And I told her, I said, that's not an airplane. That's a bird. And it was only then could she realize what she was seeing. It was like her mind wouldn't accept that she was seeing something so bizarre. She tried to rationalize it, but when I told her there was a bird, she said, "Oh my God, it is." And I was going to pull the car over, and because it looked like it was coming down for landing in those trees. It was across a field. The tail, Corey, was rolled up behind it in a ball. Right, and there's a little bit of it sticking out, and she was able to describe it a lot better than I did, and because she saw it so much, and I just got those few quick glances. But it had the feet of an eagle, right, or a raptorial bird of prey, and it was coming down. So I was going to pull the car over. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to go in those woods and see if I can see that bird." And she said, "You must have lost your mind. That thing's big enough to eat you." And she was right. I didn't even have so much as a pocket knife with me or a stick. And this bird had a wingspan of 20 feet or so. If it was standing in the middle of the road, I'd say it'd be 4.5 to 5 feet tall. So reason got the better of me, and I did not go into the woods looking for this bird. But that's my Thunderbird sighting, one and only. It's not a typical Thunderbird, but it looked like something flying right out of a prehistoric past, like a glimpse into the past or something. But it sure looked real and solid. So never heard anyone else seeing this around this area. So I don't know. It would come from a portal or whatever. I didn't used to think much about portals in the past, but now I'm starting to realize that there's something to all that portal talk. And yeah, it was just very strange.
You had a couple of questions pop in.
Very, very strange to see something like that. And it had no feathers at all, but like I say, the skin looked like the skin of an elephant or something like that. A little wrinkly, Yeah, it was just crazy. That was 1998.
I lost them.
What?
There was a question saying Chris Phoenix said it could have been a time slip where you saw.
I've got like 3 more questions started.
Okay. All right, cool. I just seen that one. I was like,
Sam Burton's dad saw one of these things in 1978.
wow.
Cynthiana. Wow, Sam. Yeah, I sure would like to hear about that.
So what kind of questions you got for him?
Okay, the first one, JD Smooth asked, do you think it was a portal at the LBL or orbs or something else?
Well, I think it was a portal. Now, I don't know, JD. You and I are going to have to talk real soon. I think it was a portal. Not real sure. I'm no expert on portals, that's for sure. But it looked like a force field around that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen anything like that on video. I don't know if you guys have. No, there were no claws at the end of the wings, Pamela. The wings were a part of its arms, though, so they weren't separate from the arms. So yeah, no claw at the end that I can remember. They were really, really long and skinny. It was so weird to see that.
You ready for the next question?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Corey Cole asks, did you see a tail?
Yes, the tail was curled up behind it and kept sort of underneath it, right? It had a little bit of the tail sticking out of that curled up ball, and it had a little flange on the top, like a hat, like an arrowhead, right? But you take the bottom half away, and you got the top half. That's what the tail looked like. I can only guess that it would have been pretty long. If it would have uncurled its tail, it would have been at least as long as the body. So, and it also had a knob-like protrusion on the top of its head. It had a short, stout-looking beak and a short, thick, strong-looking neck. So that's kind of atypical from the usual pterodactyl and pteranodon descriptions, but that's what it looked like.
Gotcha. Okay. Next one, spilling tea with Spunky Sparky asks, was there a sense of foreboding? Did it see you?
No, I don't think it saw me. There was no sense of foreboding at all, just one of wonder at what I was seeing. Really wanted to go try to chase it down and get a better look, but my ex-wife was right. It probably would have eaten me alive. So no sense of dread or anything like that. Just wonder.
Yeah. I guess the next question's for me. JD Smooth said, Krista, do you think it's something demonic that's taken over the LBL? Not necessarily taking over. I think I know for a fact there's a certain cemetery there that does have a demonic entity. But I think that there's just there's a lot of bad stuff going on out there at the LBL. I don't think it's all demonic. I think honestly some of it's man-made. I believe some of the dogmen out there are what do you want to say? I guess programmed or kind of chimeras, I guess, in a way.
Right? Yeah, genetically manipulated.
Yeah, so I don't believe those are demonic, but are there demons out there at the LBL? Heck yeah. I know of a cemetery that Bart and Letitia, you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There is a true demonic entity there. Yeah.
And it was crazy because we visited 2 brand new cemeteries this weekend with Truth Walker and Gina. And one of them, Truth Walker, she got, let's see, it was at the church. We was going to that little church that we was talking about.
Yeah.
And she made it through the cemetery part, but then I was taking them to this little gate that's out back. It has this huge drop off, but there's a huge trail. It's not a game trail. It's a huge wide trail going off to the left and then going down the hill straight in front of you. And she was trying to get to that gate and something just froze her in her tracks. And she just kind of bent over and she's like, I'm having trouble breathing. I can't get no farther. I can't go. She had that happen. Not only did she have that happen, the time that we was there before, Jonestead Farms, Anna, her daughter, Tiffany, she had the same thing happen. She got a certain, she got so close to that church and in a certain area where she had to stop and just kind of take a break, take a breath. And then later on that evening, this last weekend, we went to another cemetery and Gina got out and she had the same issue. She made it to one grave, like one of the first graves there. And she said, I can't go no farther. I can't move. It was like she was just frozen and she was bent over and she was like, I got to breathe. And Truth Walker said, I'm not even getting out here. She was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not even getting out. So there's some creepiness going on out there. I got out for a few minutes just because I wanted to look around with my night vision, but wow, it was dark and it was pretty spooky out there that night. So
yeah,
I know Matt, he went on into the cemetery because he's like 7'10" and 500 pounds. He's huge. He ain't scared of nothing.
Big guy. He was doing the spirit box. And he actually got some an EVP that he let me listen to. It was pretty weird. So
wow,
maybe sometime he'll share that with you guys. Hello there, Kevin. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Tell Dee say hello.
Wow. Right. Should you read this one from William Baez?
William
Baez, sorry.
One of these days I'm going to get over this call.
I don't know. You went back to the LBL. I don't know if you will or not.
No.
Read that one. William says,
there have been several pterodactyl sightings through the years, so there's a theory they are not extinct. They are seen often in Indonesia. Thank you, Brother Kevin. Yeah, you're right. They are seen, I don't know if you'd call it often, but they are seen periodically, but not in Henderson, Kentucky. So I don't know what to think about that. It's hard to believe that they are actual physical birds like that, of that size, flying around, and hardly anyone sees them, right? So I don't know. It's very, very strange.
Mystical Wonderland says she's seen one of those in Colorado.
Really? Wow, Mystical, you have to write me an email and tell me about that. You guys, if you have any encounters or sightings that you want to share, please send them to me at inhumanoidencounters@gmail.com. Also, if you like this content like what we're trying to do here, which is bring you the truth and the truth only, please hit the like button, share it, tell everybody, tell all your friends about this channel. It's a very difficult platform to navigate sometimes. So if you like what you're seeing, you like the content, you like what we're trying to accomplish here, please hit the like button and share and tell your friends.
So Hawk says the top dog when I was young, when I was a young boy, actually it escorted me or pushed me towards the road. The bottom dot is just off the side of the bridge Chuck crossed. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Here, you hold it up to where you can get closer. So that's what that's the place Chuck was just talking about. And Hawk also had an experience there. So must be something around there. Can you guys see that?
See that?
The dots.
Hold it there a minute. Let me put you on solo layout. Can you bring it?
There we go.
See if it helps a little
It's
bit.
not very far away.
Wow, it went out.
Thank you, Hawk. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Hawk.
Hello, Lolo, and all our friends and extended family, brothers and sisters in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. So good to see so many wonderful people show up every Wednesday night. It's just humbling to think that you guys want to hear what we have to say. And thank you so much.
You have another question.
Okay.
Penny Van says, are people seeing pterodactyl specifically or many types of Petasaurus?
Well, it's not a common thing here in the United States to see. I think more of them is in the line of the pterodactyl type deal and not the pteranodon that I saw. It looked weird. The wings didn't look right. I just couldn't imagine it taking off from the ground and achieving ground to air flight with those wings. I thought about it for a long time, and I thought, well, it would have had to climb up something very tall and then drop off to fly. So just very, very, very strange. But that's my life. I've had a lot of strange things happen to me and seen a lot of strange things. I've written a few books about them. You guys can check those out. Available at Amazon.com and both the printed and audiobook formats. If that's something you might want to do, check it out. Trying to finish up my 5th book, and it's really, really hard to find the time to do that. Everything's happening so fast, it seems these days. Every time we go to LBL, we're getting something amazing, and I think that the good Lord is He's directing a lot of good people to us right now. A lot of people are dividing at this moment, but there's also a lot of us that are uniting, and our little community keeps growing. You guys check out all our recommended channels. They're all brothers and sisters and looking for the truth, and that's why we're here, right? When you see something like this, you have to tell people, regardless of whether they believe you or not. You have to tell people, and that's the only way they can learn. So
there's real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's a statement here that I think he has a good point. It's worth talking about. JD Smooth says the reason why I'm asking is when you guys leave the LBL, you are usually sick. You and Martin, do you think that's connected? I don't
know. It seems like every time, and I'm feeling a bit hoarse right now and nasally, and
I've been sick, kind of sick for the past 2 days.
And what happens to you when you go to the LBL, Letitia? Spots. There you go.
A lot of negative reactions there.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not a welcoming place.
It's not. Once you're in the LBL, the whole time is spiritual warfare, whether you realize it or not. Mm-hmm. Things are trying to get at you, whether they're physical or ethereal, right? They're trying to get at you.
Right. So, I just thought that was a good point because you guys do get sick all the time when you leave there.
Yeah.
William Bays.
That's Flanua.
I don't know how to pronounce that
word. Flanua. great mythic hawk or Thunderbird is possibly a Territorn. Possibly, yes. Right. So, Sister Truth, I hope your trip to the LBL was everything that you could have hoped for and more. I know that we really had a great time meeting you, and you're like a member of the family now, and you're welcome to come back anytime we're there. We'd be happy to see you again.
She's absolutely a wonderful lady,
Yes,
y'all.
she is. Very, very nice. How you doing, South Force 10?
Paranormal Paul says they're usually sick when they get back, and the activity is amping up. They're strange. Absolutely.
Well, if anybody has any explanations for that video we just showed, just please feel free to share. I've never seen anything like that. I think it was a portal.
I'm
Yeah,
agreeing.
no, of course not. I'm not an expert at anything.
What'd you say, Christy? I'm sorry.
I'm agreeing with Bart on that. I'm leaning towards portal too. It's just weird.
It was crazy. I wish we had just taken more time there rather than trying to get up. But we just figured, it's a bonfire, and
Yeah, it
wow,
was just strange. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, man, that's we should have stayed right
You
there.
would do a bonfire back there. I
We
mean,
filmed it the whole time, yeah.
I mean that would be just a crazy place to go, because I mean it's nothing but how it is. It's just laid down trees. With a
hot mess back there. There's no,
there's
it's a mess.
They would have had to have hiked back a half a mile back there across all those trees and all those
It
woods.
was very difficult to do.
Could you imagine all the timber rattlers that were back there?
The brush alone.
Yeah. No way. So,
I certainly wouldn't do it. I don't know. It's just things are coming out left and right now. We've already got the vocalizations. The vocalizations now. My biologist friend said that is no animal that he's ever heard, and it's certainly no human, because it screamed back at me in the same pitch that I use, but it was using two different octaves in the same stream. All three of the creatures that answered my call had 2-octave voices. So I know that human beings, they're not capable of that. And what animal is, I'm not sure. I think maybe an elephant, but I'm not sure about that. I know that wasn't an elephant. So we got the screens. We got the screenshot of that creature that made me and War. We looked tiny. You could barely see me over there, and this thing was pretty big. And when War's headlights hit this thing, it was standing beside a tree, and it immediately crouched down to the ground and just looked at us for a few seconds and just nonchalantly walked away, without making a sound.
Headlamp, not his headlights.
Yeah, his headlamp, yeah. And I had a flashlight. I was aiming at it too. And so, Krista, would you replay that video, hon, for Lolo? We don't want anybody to go away unsatisfied here on this channel.
I gotcha.
Thank you, South Force.
While you're doing that, Mystical Wonderland said another channel posted one of those orbs too. He filmed it for 7 minutes, but somehow camera only had a second of it.
Right.
You know how that is.
Yeah, my camera wasn't working too good either. We'll go ahead and play that for Lolo, Krista.
It's not showing up red as in hot.
That's weird.
When I put it on red hot,
Yeah.
it doesn't show up as red.
What? In the hell as white as can be. And it looks like there might be some other lights around it too.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. It can be through the psionics.
And then it looks like two
Come
lights.
here, look.
Wow.
It is not showing up as red on my red hot. It is not showing up as red.
It's showing up white.
It's showing up white.
See, that should not be doing that.
No, it should be a red spot. Man, they're just going to town.
Like I said, I'm going to see what it means for you on the side of the road at night.
It's 5 of them? The last time we had something happen,
Okay, hold on a minute. Just let me film this real quick.
on the side of the right on the left hand side of the road, just sitting there. And we pulled up. We tried to get pictures of them as we was driving through. Usually, I don't think I've ever seen whippoorwills just sitting on the side of the road like that, but they were just sitting on the side of the road. And I'd give War Criminal my phone to take a picture of them, and just as he would get ready to take the picture, it'd fly away. So, but you can hear them just going crazy in the background.
Yeah.
So,
How you doing, War? How's it going, bro?
It was an amazing night. We had a really, really strange night.
Yeah, and Truth Walker got. I think she was satisfied with her prize. We appreciate you, Sister Truth, for being a Barton Spartan for so long. We'll be finishing up your original sketch, in the next couple of days and mailing that out to you.
And you guys will be having a little bit more of the video on the next video that you drop, right? We'll have some more of that.
I am making a video of that trip. So,
and if you listen in the background, you can hear me and Truth Walker talking, and we're both trying to figure out why, with her thermal, she can pick up a little tiny bird. I mean, the tiniest little bird you've ever seen, and it shows up. It's as bright red as you can imagine. But when we're looking at that fire, or whatever you want to call it, there was nothing there. You couldn't see no heat signature at all from it. And she also tried it in, she had like 4 color stages, I think. She had like a green, a red, a white. I'm not sure. She would have to tell you. But there was like 4 different colors that you could look at the brightness or at the thermal, and none of them showed anything. It was like it was gone.
When she handed it to me, I couldn't see anything. It was completely invisible in the thermal. We're going to start calling her Truth. That's not a deer walker. So we were at the Empire Farms, and we picked up some eye shine, and it was across this field of waist-high grass. In that field there on the right-hand side, Krista, by the old barns.
Where we got lost, Krista.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a red eye shine over there, and
Truth Walker
said, "That's no deer."
She grabbed Bart.
Not a deer.
That's not a deer, Bart.
I said, "Well, I guess somebody's gonna have to go over there and check to see what it is." And tell you what, I was dreading walking through all that grass because I figured there was about 1,000 ticks and chiggers in between us and that eye shine. But I did walk over there, and I got to within 30 or 40 feet, and I was standing next to a broken tree. And I reached down, picked up a limb, and threw it at the eyes, right, to get it to move. And it was a bird.
It was a bird.
Yeah, it flew off.
It was a little bird.
So, but luckily, I didn't get a single tick or chigger on me. Did you get any on you, baby?
I actually found 1 chigger on the back of my leg.
Yeah.
Yep, right here, and it's because it's still itches. So
well, that's amazing, right there. So, figured out how to use that permethrin stuff really well. So.
Hawk said, was there a road that someone could get across to that area where the lights was seen?
I don't think so. War Criminal 7 says there's not, and he knows that area a lot better than me, but he's not familiar with any road near that. He said that you would have to hike over all those down trees to get there, and that would be just a crazy, crazy notion. No one will want to camp out in that mess and actually build a fire, because that would attract the timber rattlers to them, the heat, right? So
not only that, I would almost think it would be illegal to start a fire in the middle of downed forest like that. You know, they're weird about you having campfires outside of campfire rings anywhere. So I can't imagine there being anybody that would. I mean, I can't say for sure. I don't know.
All we know for sure was it looked like a campfire, but to the naked eye, but had no heat signature in the thermal, and looked like a pulsing sphere in the night vision, the sonics. So we're definitely going back and getting that area looked at, and at least on video we could see a little bit better what's going on there. So if you guys don't have any more questions or anything, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, Tex. Appreciate you.
Cynthia said she saw some blue around the main white light.
Some blue, yeah.
That's Ace Banner says hologram.
No, I don't know about that, Ace. I don't know why they put a hologram half a mile out in the middle of nowhere where no one would see it, right?
But we don't know.
But I don't know, right?
I don't know what it was. We are definitely, like you said, going back to explore that area, and we're going to explore some more around the church area, and hopefully bring you some really good footage from that.
We'll find out where that path leads. I got a feeling it's going to lead to an altar, of some type. But I
Yep.
will be going and finding out where that path leads to very soon. So Warren and I, Morton, Cryptidville, Mark Maycheck, we're all making plans right now behind the scenes to bring you even more exciting content from the LBL. I know we're concentrating a lot on the LBL, but that's where we're getting the evidence. So that's where I'm going as much as possible, right? Every video won't be about the LBL, I promise, but every time we go there, we're gonna try to bring it all to you where you can see it and experience it yourself. And just like Truth, that's not a deer Walker did. So hopefully you guys will keep getting lucky. I guess we're just getting lucky down there. After 40 years, finally, I'm getting lucky with something. So.
And Hawk, we don't know if you're possibly right on that.
What's that?
Right here. I don't want to say the word. People are getting in trouble these days on YouTube for using that word. So
you're right. Yeah, you get in trouble on YouTube just for, I don't know, no reason at all. But like I say, it's a hard platform to really thrive on. But the good Lord's putting so many people in our path, and the outpouring of support that you guys have shown us is just amazing. And we couldn't ask for better people and a better audience. And we consider every one of you our extended family and friends. And have a lot of Wolf brothers and sisters in the chat room right now. And we have a new one. So welcome to the family, Truth Walker.
I was going to say, remind everybody, please do not say the G word, because you can get this channel shut down.
Right. That's what Lolo just said. We need a code word.
Stop.
We need a code word, is what Lolo just said. So
Yeah.
we'll come up with that,
Do not
Lolo.
say that word.
I think you're right, Hawk, and maybe you can agree that we are getting the opportunity to reveal a lot here lately. I don't think anyone's gotten this much evidence anywhere, much less the LBL. Thank you, Brother Charlie, War Chief Tracker C. We've got to talk on the phone soon, and Roger Williams be calling you soon too, brother. I'm supposed to be on Roger's show. I promised him that I would, and we got to get that together. That's Squatch and Holler. You guys go check his channel out. Subscribe if you're not, and check out the Blondes and Booze. Give them a like and sub if you're not already subbed to them. And hello there, Brother Joe. Thank you for the gift. Sure appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And you're so welcome, Truth Walker. It was our pleasure to have you down. Glad that you wanted, because you're such a nice lady. We had a great time. So we'll do it again real soon. I think I'm going to call another meeting in, I think, September, but we'll be down there again in a few months. And if there's anybody in the Barton Spartan tier, they will be invited to come with us. So you want to be a membership?
Sugars. What's the name of that stuff that we use?
Permethrin.
Permethrin.
Yeah. So the trick is you got to go to where your pants leg touches your boot, and just douse it right all the way around until it's wet. And then you do the same thing at your waistline, especially where your shirt touches your pants, and just douse it till it's wet. And for the first time, I've had no ticks on me from the LBL in the summer, and that's amazing.
I got one sugar.
Yeah, I've had no triggers, no ticks.
Or full body pantyhose. Yeah, well, somebody sent Bart a picture of those, and he decided he wasn't going to do full body pantyhose.
Yeah, I would look kind of funny in there, and they look kind of little anyway to me. So, Scientist May Dogman will listen tomorrow. He asked for the Lynch birthday party tonight. Thank you, Larry. We appreciate that.
Hi, and thank you so much for the ointment. We
really
appreciate it.
Really some good stuff. Hello, Miss Holly, Rob S., Amy Creel, Greg Ogles. Hey there, how you doing? Got to get you on the show too sometime, man. So
Yep.
stay in touch. I want you to come on and tell us what happened, or as much as you can say, when we took you down there to the LBL. And
He's actually going to be on a BMR show on Tuesday night.
Really
Okay.
Mhm.
cool. We'll have to check it out. Everybody go check out BMR, Brunch with BMR. We love Rob. We love Tex. We love Krista.
Texas binds.
Right.
Leopard's
We love Brandy. We love you guys. We're so blessed to have you guys here to help us and make sure everything goes smooth. And DEET is no good, Hawk. My biologist friend says DEET, you might as well throw it away.
Actually, somebody else told me DEET wasn't working too well either. So,
But you do not want to get the permethrin on your skin, right? You don't get it on your skin, just your
and if
clothing.
you have cats, it will kill your cats immediately. So,
Yes.
if you do use the permethrin, make sure you go home, you take your clothes off before you go in the house, you wash them, and you do not let your cats get a hold of them. It's don't
Deadly.
bother dogs for some reason, but it's very deadly to cats. So, just
Right.
a FYI.
God bless you too, Sister Angie. We appreciate you being here.
Punch her with the designer hosiery. I can't wait to see Tex. I don't know if I want to see Tex in the pantyhose. I think I'll skip that.
Distance was so Brother Kevin asked what I estimate the distance was from the portal. Apologies if you've already answered this. So I'd estimate it to be about a half a mile, Kevin. About a half mile, yeah. That's way far in there for somebody to be hiking over down trees, and I just don't see anybody being that silly.
I don't either.
But you never can tell about people these days, right?
Sure. All right, guys. Well, he's got to get up at 4:00 in the morning for work, so we're going to say goodnight. Christy, if you don't care to pull up the start and let us say our thank yous.
Sure. And Sister Angie, yes. You can either email me that story, or we can the next open mic you can call in and tell that story.
Next week will be open mic night, so you can call in and tell that story.
All right, and then JD Smooth's going to grace us with his presence.
All right.
So we got a lot of good stuff lined up for you guys. Stick with us. I apologize for being so slow, but life is happening faster and faster, and it seems like I get less and less time to do stuff like this, right? I hate to sit at the computer for a day or two, but I'll do it for you guys. So as soon as life lets me,
if we can
we're
keep our
going to get that done,
working.
Right? Computer's on its last leg.
She's going to let us borrow a computer, so
I'm bringing you one this weekend.
Oh, thank you,
so
thank you,
hopefully
sister.
they'll let us download our software onto it that feel about us.
Right,
Lolo, let me ask you, honey, if you know anybody that still sells Avon, could you please send me their information, because we cannot find Avon here in Kentucky anywhere. So I would love to be able to get some of that Skin So Soft.
Yeah, she's right about that, because I used to actually my grandma used to put that on her dogs, and they never got fleas.
Right, and I used to use it too, but you just can't find anybody that sells Avon around here anymore. So Lola, if you can send me somebody's address, I'd be more than happy to order some Avon from them.
Yeah.
So, all right, so if you want to put up the messages, we're going to go.
Well, let's thank everyone that's donated. Your donations are appreciated. We use them all for the betterment of the channel, to better the quality of the equipment that we have. And if not for you guys, we wouldn't have been able to bring you this video tonight.
Right. Liberty.
Thank you, brother, for your generosity.
Make sure the brakes are fixed good. So the brakes are completely changed. The rotors were perfectly fine, so they didn't have to be changed. There's still a little bump to it whenever he drove it. So he thinks that at one point I was trying to back off of a highway where I work, because they was doing some construction, and there was a huge pothole in the middle of the road that I didn't see.
You know what though? I wonder if it's when you got hit.
Well, it might have been. It could have been that too. But he thinks that I have a rim that's got a little bit of a bend to it. Is what he
Holly
thinks
sells
is
it.
going.
Lolo says Holly Mangum sells it.
Holly does?
Well,
now I know.
something.
I'll be ordering some from her. But yes,
I won't be.
So yeah, Liberty. So we think it might be a little bit of a bent rim. We're going to check that out next. So, but I do have new brakes, so that makes me feel better. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, brother Tim.
Kim, thank you so much for the gifted him and his memberships. 5 of them.
Yes.
Steampunk,
Thank you so
thank you
much.
so much for becoming a new YouTube member. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you, Steampunk. Welcome aboard, buddy.
Sugar Britches, thank you for the super sticker. We sure appreciate you.
We sure do.
Truthy
Good to see
Ruthie,
you.
thank you so much. You're
Truthy,
always
we
loved.
love you so much, girl. Thank you so much. I'm honored by the gifts that you sent me. And really don't know what to say about it. It's
They will be
wonderful.
treasured. You can
Treasured
believe
forever.
that. So, Sugar Britches, thank you for the Inhumanoids memberships. We appreciate
Yes,
that.
thank you, Sugar.
Kevin Murphy, thank you for the super sticker. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Brother Kevin. We have to talk soon, man.
Texas Front Porch, thank you, Tex.
Thanks,
We
Tex.
appreciate that.
We see you in Texas soon, right?
Yep. We see you
Okay.
soon.
In the Alabama conference. Be
Yeah.
good to see him and Rob and all you wonderful people again.
And you have a creature crawling behind your head, Krista.
Oh yeah, she's my shadow.
She's
Been
pretty.
waiting patiently for me to get done.
All right. Well, we will say goodnight to everybody. We love you guys. Hawk, thank
Yeah,
you for
thank
the
you, Hawk.
membership.
God bless each and every one of you. Be kind to one another. When bad times come and hard times come, just remember, don't be scared, be prepared. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. So everyone get right with the Lord. It looks like we're having some bad things getting ready to come out on mankind. And if the LBL is any indication at all, we're on a very frightening journey there. So get right with God and be safe. We love every one of you. Thank you for showing up tonight, and we'll see you on the next premiere or the next live stream.
All righty.
You gonna do it or you want me to?
You can do it. I'm still looking. We forgot to put the banner up tonight, Krista. I did.
Slack.
You can do it.
All
Good
right.
night,
Good
everybody.
night, everyone.
Good night.
See you next week.